A new report shows there are growing resentments inside the United Arab Emirates over its leadership of a military intervention in the Yemen war. This specifically came into the spotlight after an Emirati prince fled to Qatar recently. A report by the New York Times quoted the same prince as saying that the rulers of Abu Dhabi did not consult the emirs of the other 6 emirates before committing their troops to the war. This is while soldiers from smaller emirates such as Fujairah have filled the front lines in the war. Besides, they have accounted for most of the war deaths, which Emirati news reports have put at a little more than 100. The fugitive prince has told the New York Times that there have been more deaths for Fujairah than anywhere else. Has also accused Abu Dhabi of hiding the full death toll.
After a completely disastrous attempt by the UAE and its allies forces to occupy the port city of Fujairah in Yemen, that offensive which took place quite recently has been classed as a complete and total failure, and this may push the UAE and other coalition allies of theirs to perhaps resort to negotiating rather than and trying to find some kind of peaceful solution, rather than pushing for violence all the time and aggression, because clearly they're not capable of winning the conflict.
In his interview with the New York Times, Sheikh Rashid also accused Emirati rulers of blackmail and money laundering. He also said the UAE intelligence agencies had pressured him to transfer tens of millions of dollars on their behalf to people he did not know in other countries. This, as Sheikh Rashid said, was in violation of Emirati and international laws against money laundering. There are now speculations that the accusations against the UAE leadership could undermine its regional ambitions, most notably its involvement in the Yemen war.
Even though the UAE, Saudi Arabia, these other Arab dictatorships, they may have plenty of money in reserves to keep this war going, but at the same time, eventually there will be a breaking point which will push certain elements within, say, the UAE, for example, to the boiling point. Because at the end of the day, not only is the UAE engaged in a costly Yemen war, but also they're beginning to be dragged into other conflicts in the region, which are again having a very deep, costly effect on the UAE economy.
Sooner or later, the rulers of the UAE would have to answer to their own public about the accusations that Sheikh Rashid has raised. Most notably, they will have to explain why joining the Saudi-led war in Yemen was not a unanimous decision. Besides, the accusations against widespread corruption and money laundering need to be answered as well. It was for the first time in its history of 47 years that the UAE leadership faced charges of misconduct. Public opinion, not only in the UAE but also at the regional and international level, would be waiting to see what Abu Dhabi has to answer. What many would like to know is what really motivated the Emirates to send its soldiers to a war without consulting all members of its leadership. Was Saudi money involved in a corrupt scheme, as suggested by the remarks of the fugitive prince Sheikh Rashid?